Audio Jungle.
As the first golden ray of light rose from the sea of clouds, reflecting on Shiyao's face, the crisp sound of the guzheng also sounded at this moment. The song myth was played, and before the song was finished, the whole Yingluo peak began to ring with clanging bells. Shiyao was stunned. Is this bell ringing an emergency gathering? What happened? Is there a powerful enemy who wants to attack Tianyahage? She immediately got up, packed her things, and ran down the mountain. Just after running a few steps, a majestic voice resounded throughout the 18 peaks of Tianyahage. In compliance with the order of the leader, from now on, Tianya High Pavilion will begin to seal the sect. All disciples are not allowed to leave. Anyone who offends will be killed. Disciples who are on missions outside will immediately fly pigeons to pass the message to each peak. They are not allowed to return to the sect for the time being. After half an hour, the sect's protective formation will be activated to cut off any contact with the outside world. Inner disciples and direct disciples of the 18 peaks of Tianya High Pavilion, all disciples above Huayuan Realm and below Infant Transformation Realm, hurry up and gather at Taihua Peak. All law enforcement officers from Qianchao Peak, 10,000 Beasts Peak, Danhua Peak, Hidden Sword Peak, Baijian Peak, and Ziyang Peak gathered quickly and stationed themselves at the front door. No one is allowed in or out. Anyone who breaks out by force will be killed without mercy. No need to report, be prepared. The masters of Ziyang Peak, Forging Peak, Lingxiao Peak, Qingying Peak, and Huozhao Peak. The nervous voice made Shiyao's eyes filled with worry. Something big must have happened, and the big one actually started to seal the sect. She quickly obeyed the order and headed towards Taihua Peak. Senior Sister Lu, what happened? As soon as we arrived at the foot of the mountain, we met Zhou Linger, Bai Hong, and Ho Nan who had come down from Qianchao Peak. Since several people have experienced life and death, they have been in contact with each other more often, especially when Bai Hong pulled her out of the unconscious river in the underground river. It is no exaggeration to say that Bai Hong saved her life. Especially the final decision was completely correct. I heard that some of the people who came behind were the hostile sects of Tianya High Pavilion. If they had stayed there at that time, given the condition of a few people, they would definitely be dead or alive. I don't know, Shiyao looked solemnly as she watched the black-clad law enforcement team whizzing by in the sky. Normally, the entire sect is prohibited from flying, even the law enforcement officers, but now they are so unscrupulous. Something must have happened to Taihua Peak. Otherwise, we wouldn't be allowed to gather there directly. To be honest, since I came back last time, I have been avoiding contact with Taihua Peak. It's really... Bai Hong looked at huge mountain peaks in the distance, hands clasped. Zhou Linger on the side came over gently and pulled Shiyao. Ho Nan, who had no tongue, only shouted Abba. But the meaning is obvious. Shiyao also bit her lip. Let's go, don't be late. When the four of them arrived at the foot of Taihua Peak, they discovered that there was not a single disciple of Taihua Peak in the entire Taihua Peak. Whether it is a foreign sect or a handyman, this place has been surrounded by heavily armed law enforcement envoys in black, each of them exuding at least Huayuan realm cultivation. Nearly 800 direct disciples and inner disciples were queuing up to receive identity verification, and then walked up the long bluestone staircase. More than 800 Huayuan Realm and Spirit Gathering Realm disciples gathered together, and the auras they exuded were shocking. These are the true heritage of Tianya High Pavilion. Of course, there are still some who have gone on missions and have not returned. There are fewer direct disciples in each peak, but there are many inner disciples, let alone the entire 18 peaks, mixed in the crowd, waiting in line, wearing different clothes, whispering. Everyone is in a state of confusion. Look, it's the Peak Masters. There was a roaring sound, and everyone looked up and saw three white-haired old men who had never been seen before, accompanied by several Peak Masters, crossing the sky and heading towards the top of the mountain. Whoosh! Old men, old women, and even strange children appeared again, and each of them left with their hands behind their backs, frowning or getting excited. Accompanying them was the Supreme Elder. Dear me, if I remember correctly, the old man in front of me should be Si Hongji, who has passed away long ago, the sixth-generation elder of Tianya High Pavilion. His portrait hangs on the second floor of the library. Oh, what you said is true. Is this our heritage? What happened? Why do I have goosebumps now? Boom! The next moment, a huge roar came. Everyone turned around and saw more than 30 figures in the sky heading towards the gate quickly, followed by dozens of law enforcement officers. These figures include those who usually clean the house, as well as the cooks who cook in the stove room. All of them have frightened faces. It's too late to escape at this time. I usually keep you here so that other sects can rest assured, but now, I'm really embarrassed. A Supreme Elder rose from the surface, and blood rained down in an instant. The bloody scene made the originally noisy crowd suddenly quiet down. Headmaster Chao Zhengyang came from Xiang Peak, took out a piece of paper in the air, looked at the list on it, felt a little heartbroken, gritted his teeth and handed it to the Supreme Elder, then saluted and left for Taihua Peak. After the Supreme Elder read the list, a flame passed by and disappeared into the sky. I'm a little scared, Zhou Linger swallowed and leaned towards Lu Shiyao. Lu Shiyao frowned and looked up at Taihua Peak. The tense atmosphere made her panic. As time goes by, several people's turns are confirmed, their identities and cultivation levels are verified, and they are released after confirmation. Everyone walked towards the mountain with anxiety. At the foot of the mountain, as the last person completed the inspection, it was completely sealed off. There are people guarding the entire Taihua Peak, including some mysterious elders, like a real iron bucket. Since ancient times, the emergence of inheritance, secret realms, ancient ruins, and other things has been accompanied by bloody storms. Who doesn't want a piece of the pie that is coveted by others? Even Chao Zhengyang from before ran faster than anyone else when he heard there was a secret realm somewhere. Because you don't know if there are any peerless secrets, lost elixirs, or even too many other things. Just like the Star Palace, for the inheritance of Tianyin Valley, the entire sect has put in so much effort to get what's inside. However, other people's great undertakings are their own products and they can be defended. Tianya High Pavilion is nothing. There are no less than a dozen sects with the same power as him in the surrounding area. Who wants to watch their peers suddenly rise up, or even lead them? Once the news leaks out and more than a dozen sects join forces, the worst possible outcome is that Tianya High Pavilion will be destroyed, and we will divide it equally. This kind of thing is simply too common in the world of cultivation. This was also a last resort decision that Chao Zhengyang made after quietly finishing everything last night. Because there was no other way, they tried the underground palace several times, but they could only enter from Huayuan Realm to Infant Transformation Realm. Above the Soul Gathering Realm is the Infant Transformation Realm. In other words, the lowest level is the early stage of Yuan Realm, and the highest level is Dzogchen, the highest level of Gathering Spirit. And Li Dan's second senior brother Su Zhong is in the great perfection of the Soul Gathering Realm. He has reached the last level and is stuck at the last level. Time does not wait. They must fight quickly. The news of the sect sealing may not be hidden from other sects for too long. The vast crowd was all brought to the back mountain of Taihua Peak. When they saw the scene in front of them, everyone's eyes suddenly widened. What appeared in front of everyone was the back mountain of Taihua Peak, but on a side stone wall, lush green spread, revealing patches of ancient buildings. In the air, some elders were still peeling it off carefully, and the place was quiet. When they got closer, they could clearly feel that the spiritual power of this world was faintly boiling at this moment. As more than 800 direct disciples and inner disciples gathered, many people spread out to protect the place and expose the place to these people. Boom! At the next moment, an extremely powerful storm suddenly spewed out from the buildings that were being stripped away, sweeping in like a hurricane, causing some elders in the sky to retreat together, their eyes filled with disbelief. This is not a ruins, but an ancient tomb. It's pretty much what I thought, but the owner of the ancient tomb didn't leave a killing array. He must have been unwilling to do so, hoping that the destined person would be blessed by him. We can't continue. I can feel that once it is forcibly opened, not only will the tomb be destroyed, but we may all die. Who is this person? He was definitely an unimaginable giant during his lifetime. Why have we never discovered it before? You said it as if you had been here before. I told you to go down and wait until this matter is over to go to the other dozen or so peaks and have a look at the mountains behind them. I think so too. In the sky, the elders who should have died in the outside world nodded towards Chao Xingyang. Headmaster Chao Xingyang looked at the huge stone gate that had appeared in front of him and the two ancient statues in front of it, then turned around and looked at the disciples who had gathered. Everyone, I believe you also know that, yes, there is an ancient ruins right in front of you. It is even hidden. It was not discovered when our Tianya High Pavilion was first established, but it is the most complete one. Some of you disciples in the spirit-gathering realm must have participated in the development of some ancient ruins. I don't need to say more about the opportunities involved, but again, the level of danger is definitely beyond our imagination. Crisis and opportunity have always been complementary to each other. Maybe you will fall there, or maybe you will receive unimaginable fortune. It's a pity that this place can only be entered by those above the Huayuan realm and below the infant transformation realm. Others are blocked. Otherwise, I would have gone in, and who would be the one to get involved with you guys? After Chao Xingyang finished speaking, everyone suddenly laughed, especially those in the spirit-gathering realm. Obviously, these have the greatest opportunities for them. At least they are better than the junior brothers and sisters in the Huayuan realm next to them. Chao Xingyang looked at everyone's eagerness to try, and continued, of course, this sect will never force you. After all, once you step into this door, life or death will be unpredictable, so if you want to quit, just raise your hands. The place was quiet, no one raised their hand. It's a joke, compared to those disciples who are on missions outside, they are so lucky to encounter such a good thing. Moreover, the sect naturally excluded those outer sects and handymen, and gave priority to more than 800 of them out of more than 100,000. If you quit, it will be more embarrassing, and it will bring more discredit to your own mountain peak and the peak owner. Even if you don't want to, you have to go in anyway. In the previous auctions, I heard that good things were obtained from discovered ruins. They only had to go in, bring out a few things, and then distribute them. If they cannot be sold, the sect will also give them a lot of spiritual crystals based on price estimates for cultivation, or keep some for themselves. Shiyao was also a little excited. He had been stuck in the early Huayuan realm for some time. Maybe this time was the opportunity to advance to the middle stage. This feeling was very strong. Get out of the way, this is my Tai-Weifing territory, can you guys be polite? There was a lot of pushing and shoving from behind, and soon, Ling Feng squeezed in. Some people want to say something, but it seems that they are really standing behind others. No, this is a public resource. Senior brother Ling Feng, seeing Ling Feng stop beside her, stretching his neck and looking forward, Shiyao hesitated for a moment and saluted Ling Feng. When he heard someone calling him, Ling Feng turned around and suddenly smiled. It turns out to be junior sister Lu. You are here too. Welcome. Since the junior brother is fine, given Xiao Wu's temperament, he might still be his younger brother and sister in the future. Seeing Ling Feng being so polite, Shiyao, who originally thought she would hum, was stunned. You know, they were still shouting, drawing circles, and cursing her day and night, dragging her to be buried by Li Dan. Fourth child, please wait for us. We have agreed to form a team. Chen Hai, the third child, squeezed forward with a dark face. Hey, Sister Shiyao, you're here too. It's good, good, come on. Chen Hai saw Shiyao, wiped the sweat from his head and said with a smile, Shiyao, what happened today? Why do I feel that you are so happy? Senior brother Chen Hai climbed to Yingluo Peak alone and even assaulted a garrison elder. By the way, today is junior brother Li Dan's 100th day. but did you forget it so quickly? Hey, senior sister Lu, are you here too? Another head popped out and said hello with a smile. Looking at this young man with a rosy face and strings of bacon, chili and garlic hanging around his neck, Lu Shiyao nodded and looked forward again. But soon, she turned her head sharply and looked at the man who was twirling his fingers and muttering about the lack of seasonings and delivering logistics supplies. Her eyes were filled with shock and shock. Li Dan? Lu Shiyao rubbed her eyes to make sure she was not dazzled, then tears fell instantly. Zhou Linger, Bai Hong, and Ho Nan beside them also saw Li Dan, and they all rushed over with eyes full of disbelief. Junior brother Li Dan, it's really you're not dead? Senior brother Li, you are still alive, I am not dreaming, woo woo, ABA. Li Dan, who was hugged by the three people, also had a happy smile on his face when he saw the three people who had formed a team together again. I hope everyone is okay. I originally wanted to see you, but Taihua Peak has been under martial law since last night. All the disciples involved in the search for this place have been restricted in their behavior. We only came out now. Bai Hong and others still couldn't believe it. How did you survive? In the end, Uncle Tian went down to look for you personally, but he couldn't find you. Li Dan scratched his head in embarrassment. Accidents, they are all accidents. I will tell you about them slowly later. Also, this is not the place to talk. The people in front have already started to walk towards the door. Then you're living there for a long time? Bai Hong looked at Li Dan fully armed and asked doubtfully. Li Dan immediately grinned. Well, I gave this to my second senior brother. He is very hungry. Li Dan, it's great that you are alive, thank you. Bai Hong wanted to say something more, but Lu Shiyao came over, her eyes a little red at the moment. Li Dan nodded and pulled the garlic clove on his neck. Haha, it's okay. It was all instinctive behavior in a hurry. I think even if it were senior brother Bai or senior brother Ho, they would probably save you. Bai Hong suddenly laughed. That's not necessarily the case. Whoever feels sorry for you will save him. Li Dan, no more, please be careful. This place is very dangerous. If you encounter danger again, I may not be able to save you. Li Dan said seriously, then ignored everyone and started to follow the two senior brothers inside. Their main mission this time is to rescue the second senior brother. Others, it doesn't matter. Anyway, they are all a group of salty people. Bai Hong looked at Li Dan's back and then at Lu Shiyao. Why do you feel that he doesn't have that much interest in junior sister Lu? Or is it that after a life and death experience, people looked away? Lu Shiyao was also stunned. Huayuan realm, Dzogchen. Then, looking at himself in the early stage of Huayuan realm, he suddenly smiled bitterly. Knowingly, is the gap already so big? And in his opinion, he might be a burden and a stumbling block. Without saying anything, he walked inside with the crowd. Everything else doesn't matter, as long as he's alive and everything is fine, that's fine. Ding, there are many difficulties in detecting the position ahead. 9 out of 10 people will be injured. Saving one life is better than building a 7-level pagoda. Ding, new self-discipline is triggered. Every time the host rescues 100 people, it can ignore the test of the next level, and the system can automatically become immune to its damage. Rescuing people to the end, ferrying to the shore, simulating and analyzing the first test. The analysis progress is 1%, 2%, 3%. The analysis is completed, and the host's gravity immunity is blessed for the first time. Li Dan, who was following the two senior brothers, was suddenly stunned. Why was a new self-discipline task triggered at this time? It was just as I had guessed before. Each self-discipline task was carried out based on the situation I encountered at the moment. Saving people, everyone is taking risks. This is not Hacksaw Ridge. Should I take people out to resist? But when I thought about this reward, I became completely happy. His purpose was to get close to the second senior brother's location and cook him a good meal first. After regaining your strength, try your best to get out. The second senior brother, Su Zhong, had a perfect cultivation level in the soul-gathering realm. He could be trapped in this situation, and he stayed trapped for more than a year. You can imagine the degree of danger involved. But now it's fine. As long as he completes the rescue, he can ignore the damage. Everything is systematic. Thinking of this, Li Dan suddenly became very happy, with garlic cloves hanging all over his neck, like a hero rushing to the battlefield. Aren't you a hero? I am preparing to save lives and heal the wounded. A doctor has the heart of a parent, so why am I a junior alchemist? We are all brothers and sisters of the same sect, so we should help each other. Seeing Li Dan, who was lively and active and dressed like this, some peak leaders immediately recognized this young man. Eyes full of incredible. How come this guy is still alive? Some time ago, for whom was such a large-scale funeral held? They quickly looked at Tianjin. Tianjin looked at the three disciples who were entering the stone gate with worry on his face. It doesn't matter if it's a baby or not, but you must get your second child back safely. Your wife and I are waiting for you to go home. And as everyone cautiously stepped into the stone gate, an extremely depressing feeling suddenly came over them. Everyone was shocked. This place looked very old at first glance, but even after so long, his remaining power still remained here. I really don't know what kind of strong man left such a thing here. Just the residual power that shrouds here makes people shudder. How terrifying he will be in his heyday. But because of this, everyone's emotions were aroused at once. How could such a strong man leave anything behind that is not good? Everyone looked at such a vast hall and quickly continued to go deeper. But just before they advanced less than 30 meters, and even before some people behind them came in, someone shouted from the front. No, it's so heavy. I can't move my body. There is obviously nothing around here. Why do I feel like there is an invisible mountain pressing on me? I understand, this is the gravity zone. The double pressure of body and soul makes it difficult for people to move forward. But if you want to reach the other side, there is only this way. This is inheritance and also an assessment. The higher the cultivation level of others, the greater the pressure they will bear, but the same pressure will be felt by those with low cultivation level. Let me see if I can still hold on. It's over. I feel like my waist is about to break. There was a burst of shouting in front, which made the people behind who could not see the situation suddenly become restless before they came in. Similarly, it also made the elders outside the peak become nervous. What happened? Reporting to the headmaster, there is a gravity zone, and everyone is queuing up to pass it. The person behind reported the news. A smile appeared on Chao Xingyang's face. I tell you not to be nervous. This gravity zone is a good thing. Some large sects have specially built such places for disciples to practice. Some people even cannot break through and have to rely on the pressure it gives. When the disciples at the back heard this, they immediately felt relieved and passed on the news to dispel everyone's worries. Although there are more than 800 people, it is estimated that only a few dozen people are lucky enough to enter the ruins. How can others get the chance? Ancient ruins and ruins are not a big deal. The master has an order. This is an opportunity. Don't panic. The master has an order. This is an opportunity. Don't panic. When the people in front heard this, they quickly went deeper. Chen Hai and Ling Feng looked at Li Dan. Xiao Wu, you can follow us later. If you encounter danger, we can block it for you. Li Dan nodded. Don't worry, senior brother. After Li Dan finished speaking, it was the analysis of the surprise system, because as mentioned before, because he cured diseases and saved people, he was immune to gravity at this level and opened a green channel. As long as he saves enough people, the next level will be the same. Craning his neck to look, he discovered that in front of everyone, there was a huge square that was in dilapidated condition. There were densely packed stone pillars near the stone walls on both sides. Many brothers and sisters have already walked onto the square, but they are just like crossing the river by feeling for stones. He stooped his waist, trembled, and swayed like a snail, clenching his teeth as he walked. It was finally Li Dan's turn. As Chen Hai and Ling Feng stepped forward, their bodies suddenly bowed. His face turned red. Oh my god, it's so heavy, Shiyao, please take it easy later, Chen Hai told Li Dan with his face flushed from suppressed emotions and the veins on his forehead exposed, almost gritting his teeth. As soon as he finished speaking, he farted loudly with a pop sound. The smell of the leak box suddenly spread out, causing a group of people behind who were about to try it to cover their mouths. Who is this? Why don't you solve it on the spot? I know you are all in the spirit gathering realm, but is the pressure so great? How can the people in front of you do well? Ling Feng, who was originally standing next to Chen Hai, was trying his best to maintain his image of a gentleman in front of outsiders. He was immediately laughed at Chen Hai's fart. All their brothers knew that the fourth child, Ling Feng, had the lowest laugh point and could laugh for a long time even if he told a bad joke. I really don't know how I can pretend to be personable on weekdays. Ling Feng couldn't help but smell the familiar smell of the chive box. In this place, everyone was working hard, panting like cattle plowing the fields, and couldn't help but smell it. He thought of this morning, when Xiao Wu made the so-called chive box for everyone, and Chen Hai ate it all with teeth. The funny look made people laugh, especially when Xiao Wu said that these were inlaid jade teeth. They were of higher quality, which made the three of them laugh for a long time. Now that he smelled this smell again, he thought of the teeth of his third senior brother this morning for no reason. At this moment, Chen Hai, who was blushing with shame, let out another extremely loud fart, which echoed throughout the empty hall. Everyone was shocked, including Li Dan, who was stunned. Wahahaha! Ling Feng couldn't hold it in any longer and burst into laughter. With this smile, his body went limp, and the pressure on his body suddenly increased, directly pressing him down. But he couldn't help but still laughed wildly, with tears streaming down his face. Then, Li Dan saw some senior brothers who were already walking in front suddenly shaking violently. He knew that the fourth senior brother's laughter was contagious, which was considered a gift. However, when has this happened? How can one be defeated even if it is difficult to defeat? Li Dan quickly looked at Ling Feng. His face was already pressed against the floor tiles, but he still couldn't help but smile. Ha 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 ha. Yes, I'm sorry. I just couldn't help it. Third senior brother made a pop ha ha. My cheeks are so sleepy. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. At this moment, the senior brother in front of him, who was halfway there, suddenly couldn't hold back his laughter and burst into laughter. Then his body suddenly went limp and he fell directly to the ground. Li Dan stared blankly at the senior brother in front of him. Was he just knocked down by the fourth senior brother with the devilish laughter? How about playing? However, as if there was a chain reaction, there were several senior brothers in front of them. They gritted their teeth and persisted. They kept moving their legs, which were as heavy as 1,000 pounds, and their bodies began to shake violently. Finally, he burst out laughing. With this smile, his body lost the strength to support him and he fell down immediately. Such a funny scene looked extremely funny in the originally tense atmosphere. A loud fart will make one laugh and contaminate several others. How could this not be funny? In particular, Ling Feng's devilish laughter was even more hilarious in such an empty hall, and people couldn't help but laugh along with him. Hey hey, ha ha. More and more laughter echoed in the crowd. Some people, who didn't even know what was happening, started laughing as the people around them laughed. Ling Feng was still smiling. There were already more than 50 senior brothers in front of him who had worked so hard to walk halfway. At this moment, they were like clinging to the ground, smiling stupidly, with tears streaming down their faces, and they forcibly turned their heads to curse Ling Feng. Li Dan was also amused. He wanted to laugh at this moment, but he felt that the laughter was inexplicable. Here, the black-faced third senior brother Chen Hai was laughing and farting, and Ling Feng next to him was laughing so hard that he couldn't breathe. If this continues, something will happen sooner or later. Li Dan went down quickly. Suddenly, an unusually majestic and vast sense of gravity suddenly pressed down from above, like an awakening dragon. Li Dan's face suddenly turned red. He bowed his waist, put his hands on the ground, and tightened his dantian, because he almost squirted out from behind. He also ate the leak box. No wonder the third senior brother was so stressed. Ding, gravity immunity is starting. When the system sound fell, just for a moment, Li Dan felt that the terrifying gravity that had almost crushed him into a shrimp slowly disappeared. Li Dan's face lit up, he straightened up easily, and hurried over to grab the third and fourth senior brothers, each grabbing a leg and pulling them out. As soon as the two came up, they were breathing heavily and trying not to laugh. It's useless now, it's embarrassing and embarrassing. Outside, the originally nervous 18 Peak masters, headmasters, mini elders, and law enforcers were waiting nervously. They saw some people who were crowded outside the door but did not go in, laughing, and there seemed to be rumors inside. Come on for loud laughter. Hey, what are you laughing at? Did you find anything good? Ask the front, I will help you analyze it, Chao Jingyang asked impatiently. The few people behind who were laughing from the contagion raised their heads, wiped away tears, and pinched their thighs hard. Report to the headmaster, I don't know either. I didn't know you were laughing so hard, hurry in. Chao Jingyang suddenly blew his beard angrily. Make me happy in vain. Third senior brother, fourth senior brother, are you okay? Li Dan knelt down and asked. The two finally stopped laughing and looked at the other disciples passing by him one by one, their faces flushed. Chen Hai didn't care, but Ling Feng had always maintained his image as a gentleman in front of outsiders. Only when they were brothers and sisters together, there were no rules. Now being seen by so many people, especially so many female disciples in Yingluo Peak, it's so embarrassing. How can I get along in the future? Senior brother Ling Feng, are you okay? A female disciple came over and asked with concern. It was Gu Qianya from Yingluo Peak who was very close to Ouyang Ling when he came here. Ling Feng quickly got up, patted the dust on his face, and coughed dryly. It turns out to be junior sister Gu. It's okay. I mainly want to liven up the atmosphere here. Look at everyone is tense. It's very uncomfortable, it's easy to get into trouble, but now it's so good, just smile and everything will be fine. When Gu Qianya heard this, he suddenly smiled and said, so that's it. Senior brother has really good intentions. Shameless. What time has it been? I'm still in the mood for fun. Disciples from behind kept coming over and said angrily to the two of them. Ling Feng looked at Chen Hai. Did you hear that? Third senior brother, I'm talking about you. Ling Feng said with a look of hatred and stepped in again. Chen Hai felt embarrassed and then looked at Li Dan. Who asked you to make such a leak box? Li Dan. Blame me? More and more people walked into the gravity zone, which was like walking in a quagmire. Shiyao and others came over, glanced at Li Dan, who was silent and said nothing, gritted his teeth slightly, and followed in. After a while, only Li Dan was left. Looking at the huge area and the more than 800 figures in the square, Li Dan felt like he was playing Go. Unfortunately, it was pitch black on the other side and couldn't see anything. Xiao Wu, hurry up and leave, we're waiting for you. Ling Feng and Chen Hai, who had agreed to take care of Li Dan, turned around and couldn't see Li Dan. They gritted their teeth and stood upright, only to see that Li Dan was still there. Li Dan quickly put the garlic cloves, peppers, etc. around his neck into the storage bag. Oh, okay, I'll come right away. After finishing speaking, he jumped up and ran towards the two senior brothers. It only took a few breaths to stand beside them. The two of them were stunned, unable to react for a moment. How did you get here? Ling Feng asked after swallowing his saliva. Li Dan grinned. He came here and jumped twice. No, why didn't the gravity zone press you? Chen Hai also asked in confusion. Li Dan twirled his fingers and said with a guilty conscience, I don't know, the test here is because they think I am very handsome and they don't want me to suffer this. Ling Feng, Chen Hai. Why, it's not fair, even if it's my junior brother. Help, life. At this moment, a voice sounded amidst the footsteps of everyone moving forward in silence. As if hearing the sound of nature, Li Dan quickly stretched his neck and quickly locked the target, his face full of excitement. Brother, you go first, I'll come back later. After saying that, he hurried towards the man. What the hell? Chen Hai and Ling Feng said in disbelief. Are there any loopholes that they don't know about? And a group of pippy shrimps who were bending forward suddenly felt a gust of wind passing in front of them, and they felt dazzled. If this is the case, how can you run? When they saw Li Dan walking on the ground, some people finally reacted. It's Li Dan. Isn't he dead? Yeah, why is he here? What's going on now? Is there a trick? The crowd was buzzing, but Li Dan had already rushed to the man who was pressed to the ground and unable to move. Hey, Mr. Bao, it's you. Li Dan smiled immediately when he saw it was Bao Yue. Bao Yue was startled by the familiar voice. When he saw it was Li Dan, he was stunned for a moment, and soon his eyes turned red. Brother, you are not dead? Li Dan chuckled and helped Bao Yue up easily. Of course it's okay. This matter is complicated. I'll talk about it later. But I heard from my two senior brothers that thank you for everything you have done for me. You brother, don't you think so? After a brief shock, Bao Yue looked at Li Dan in disbelief and helped him up easily. It obviously felt effortless at all, but he could feel that as soon as Li Dan let go, he would be pressed down again. What's going on? Let me send you there first. Li Dan helped Bao Yue up and looked at the opposite side. As soon as he took a step, the overwhelming pressure suddenly hit him again, catching Li Dan off guard and almost falling down. Li Dan's face turned red, and his immunity to gravity disappeared at this moment. Saving lives and healing the wounded is a virtue, but it is not a loophole for cheating. Please use it properly. Li Dan felt a headache when he heard the system's words. I also thought that after saving 100 people, I would take them to the finish line and collect some tolls or something. I didn't expect you to be smarter than me, and you wouldn't let me take advantage of any loopholes. I'll take you back to the safe area first. Have a rest before challenging again. Li Dan looked at Bao Yue with an apology on his face. Bao Yue looked at Li Dan's trembling body and was a little unresponsive. Thank God for being able to go back to where I was. Do you still want to send me to the other side? This place is not owned by your family. Although it is impossible to explain Li Dan's unrestrained nature, it is simply a fantasy to want Li Dan to send him directly to the opposite side. Li Dan chuckled and helped Bao Yue turn around. Suddenly, the terrifying gravity disappeared again. Seeing Li Dan turn back so easily, the man next to him was in disbelief. Is this okay? A few people looked at the distant opposite side and had the intention of retreating, planning to go back and repair themselves before setting off. But when he turned around, the terrifying pressure was still there, no different from when he came. What's wrong? Are these gravity zones treated differently? Li Dan easily sent Bao Yue to where he was. In his consciousness, the numbers changed. 1/100. Li Dan was immediately happy and looked at Bao Yue holding the spiritual crystal in both hands and starting to absorb and rest. Li Dan took out the iron microphone from the storage bag that he once shouted to Shiyao. Hey, do you hear that? In the empty hall, Li Dan tried the sound with a tin speaker and found that the amplification and echo were pretty good. There were more than 800 people, all holding their breath and moving forward with difficulty. Everyone quietly wanted to reach the other side as soon as possible and find something good when they heard Li Dan's voice. Hey, hello everyone, I'm Li Dan. I'm the exclusive logistics team for our trip. I don't know why, this place is of no use to me. If you can't hold on, you can call me and I can send you a call. You guys got it to the right place successfully, there's nothing to be ashamed of, we'll come back after repairing it. Perseverance is the fine tradition of our Tianya High Pavilion. The number of places is limited, only the first 100. No, there are only 99 left. Look, if it wasn't for you, I would have been on the other side a long time ago. If you have any difficulties, just call me. I'll be here when you call. Li Dan just held a loudspeaker and walked casually in this gravity-filled area, shouting. Everyone looked envious. He must have discovered the trick here, otherwise how could it be so easy? Wait, I remember he was the last one to come up. Could it be that? Some people seem to understand it in their hearts, so as long as they pass this level and reach the second level. I don't know what happened to you, but you don't dare to go there because you're afraid of the danger ahead, you coward. A person who was already walking in the front hummed in the quiet hall. Li Dan frowned and jumped over to the front. It turns out to be senior brother Samda from Tianji Peak. Look at what you said. I want to go there earlier than any of you, but it's not because I'm afraid, but because I want to help everyone, Li Dan said. Of course Li Dan knew Samda from Tianji Peak. He was in the great perfection of Soul Gathering Realm and was on the same level as his second senior brother Su Zhong. At this moment, he is also the person at the front, dragging down the lives of many people behind him, which shows how powerful he is. The reason why Li Dan knows him is that he once bullied him in his memory. I really can't remember the specific reason. In the end, it was the senior brother who came forward and bullied him back again, just to vent his anger on himself. Samda looked at Li Dan, who was standing in front of him, breathing heavily and still walking hard step by step. He was originally a proud and arrogant person. Due to some reasons, Li Dan's senior brother forced him to apologize to this boring gourd in front of so many people. He has been holding a grudge since then. Finally, watching him suddenly confess his love, cook, learn music, and be buried with tens of thousands of people made him full of jealousy. Now that the ancient tomb was in his Taihua Peak, he felt a little unhappy. He was even more jealous when he saw Li Dan walking here as if nothing had happened. Now you are pretending to be a good person here. You want to help everyone? I don't believe you are not jealous of the good things inside. Everyone knows that the earlier you go in, the more things you will get, but you don't go there, and you just claim to be helping Brother Zhufeng. Let's go back. Are you so selfless? I think you are just waiting for others to go over and explore the way for you. You don't dare to go alone. You are a coward. Samda laughed with sweat on his face. Li Dan looked at Samda and suddenly squatted down with a smile. Brother Sam, I seem to have remembered that I borrowed the lower part of a book from the library before. You found me based on the borrowing record and asked me to borrow the lower part of the book. Here you go. I'm not good at words, so you slapped me twice, right? Samda raised his head, and for some reason, he suddenly felt uneasy. I know that you are at the great perfection of Gathering Spirits Realm, and I am at the great perfection of Huan Yuan Realm in front of you, which is a whole level short of you. However, don't you realize the situation you are in now? Seeing the smile on Li Dan's lips, Samda suddenly felt panic on his face. What are you going to do? Li Dan put his hands behind his back, looked at the many senior brothers and sisters who were moving back and forth in front of him, and rubbed his hands. Although my senior brother has also criticized you, I know that you will definitely not accept it. After all, he is in the Yingbian realm. You will think that the realm is suppressing him. So today, we will have revenge and grudges. Anyway, we are all our own people here. It doesn't matter who gets the good things inside. Although you are in the spirit gathering realm, how much strength can you exert in your current territory? Li Dan licked his lips, suddenly grabbed Samda, who had not yet reacted, and shouted, Senior brother Samda, what's wrong with you? You must persist. They say haste makes waste. Who told you to run so fast? You must have exhausted yourself. Don't worry, I'm here with you, and I will definitely send you back safely. We will persevere and keep working hard. Li Dan pulled Samda, who had a look of disbelief on his face, and dragged him back. Li Dan, you are shameless, let me go. If you dare to do this, I will report you to my uncle when I get out. Wait for me if you have the ability. Woo-woo. Li Dan directly grabbed a handful of red peppers and stuffed them into his mouth, running faster than anyone else. Li Dan, let go of senior brother Tsang. Otherwise I'll be rude to you. How dare you do this to senior brother Tsang? Do you know what will be waiting for you when we get there? When passing the crowd, some Tianji Peak disciples suddenly started shouting. Li Dan stopped and then smiled at them. Brothers, didn't you hear what you just said? When they saw Li Dan's captivating smile, the Tianji Peak disciples who were originally filled with indignation suddenly stopped talking when they looked at Songde, who was dragging a dog to death, and shed tears. Ahem, that's nothing. Junior brotherly, please do your work first. Yes, I was playing with you just now to liven up the tension. Junior brother Song is the same. I don't like him even on normal days. He should have been taught a lesson a long time ago. In just the blink of an eye, the Tianji Peak where Songdo was located fell to one side. Even a fool can see that this is Li Dan's territory now, and a strong dragon cannot defeat a local snake. Moreover, Songdao's mouth was the furthest away, so he became a threat to them. Now returning to the starting point is the best for them. Although we are on the same peak, he is a direct descendant and we are the intersect. Wouldn't it be nice to have one less competitor? Li Dan nodded with a smile and pulled Songde back. Brother Dandan, it's great that you are still alive. Don't pull on your sister. My sister loves you the most. Yes, if I had known you were still alive, I wouldn't have shed those few tears, which would have made me cry in vain. I burned all the precious love story books to you. Passing by the Yingluo Peak area, a group of women greeted Li Dan even though they were covered in sweat. Li Dan took advantage of the situation and pulled Songde, who was already feeling aggrieved, and fainted under his buttocks. He giggled and said, "Look at what the sisters said. I, Li Dan, am such a person. It is not easy for everyone to come here to seek opportunities. We belong to the same sect, and supporting each other is the key." Many Yingluofeng senior sisters looked at Songde under Li Dan's butt with smiles on their faces. It's extreme. This is how it should be. This Songdao provoked you first. All our sisters in Yingluo Peak have seen it. If we can get out alive, we will definitely testify for you. Count us in too. Li Dan smiled even happier. Thank you so much to all the beautiful sisters. If you need help, just call me and I will get busy first. Come on. After Li Dan finished speaking, he continued to drag Songde back. Everyone who passed through the 18 peaks along the way respected Li Dan like a ghost. You can really choose the right time for revenge. Is this Songdao stupid? Li Dan knows that it is unethical to do this, but I am not a great saint. I am just an inconspicuous little ant among all living beings. Why can you, a big ant, bully me? Since I have this ability, why can't I enjoy it while driving? If I didn't slap him in the face, I would have given him enough face. As for going out to complain, where is Master Tianjin? How can you still eat me? If you have the ability, come to Taihua Peak again, and see if my senior brother won't give you a few slaps to remember you. I'm just a gangster, I just don't have martial ethics. What can you do to me? Li Dan gestured Songde behind, still some distance away from the safe zone. Put you back and wait for you to recover? Just recover here. Seeing that he was originally ranked first, but because of his broken words, he became the last one in the blink of an eye. Songde wanted to cry without tears, and his intestines turned green with regret. You wait for me. If I don't avenge this, I swear I won't be a human being. Xiao Wu, good job. You deserve to be scolded by him. I suddenly remembered that Yen Lei from Xiang Peak called me a sissy and a pretty boy a few days ago. Fourth senior brother Ling Feng came from the front. The sound of Li Dan immediately received the signal. Is Yen Lei from Xiang Peak here? If so, you can answer me. Li Dan skillfully picked up the trumpet and shouted. Among the crowd on the left, Yen Lei from Xiang Peak suddenly trembled. After all, he had seen Songdao's tragic scene. These guys from Taihua Peak are so shameless. He chose this time to take revenge. Although Ling Feng was sweating profusely, he was extremely excited. Yen Lei, I said that it is never too late for a gentleman to take revenge in 10 years. It has only been 3 days. What do you think? Do you regret it? But no one responded. Dare to bully my fourth senior brother. Although his face is pale, it is natural. Calling him a sissy is a bit too much. Brother Yen Lei, Where are you? Are you playing hide and seek with me? Come out quickly. Li Dan really looked like a gangster, raising his eyebrows, holding a trumpet, among more than 800 figures. Search through. Yin Lei was so frightened that he didn't dare to snort, and tried his best to move to the opposite side. Looking at Li Dan, who looked like an invigilator, everyone gulped, thinking back on whether there is any sin in this guy. He used to be a dull gourd, why did he suddenly become enlightened? He learned to flirt with girls, cook, play the piano, and now he is even more blatantly acting like a hooligan. I'm telling you, it will take some time to get to the other side. This square is big. If you don't say anything, don't blame me for being rude. Senior brothers, if I find Senior Brother Yin Lei later, I will kill the 5 people closest to him. Pull you back. This is called shielding, and you are as guilty as the mastermind. At this, Li Dan had just finished shouting with the trumpet when 5 voices spoke in unison. Shameless, you are all from me, Xiang Peak, Yin Lei said angrily. Several people around him were also a little embarrassed. Junior Brother Yin, there is nothing we can do. 1 for 5 is a great deal. Yes, there are only a few of us in Xiang Peak. If we all fall behind, we can still grab some good treasures. There are more than 800 people here. Senior Brother Yin, you are so aggrieved. Who asked you to scold others? You have to reap the consequences of what you sow. While he was talking, Li Dan jumped up and down like a little girl picking up mushrooms and looked at Yin Lei. So you are Senior Brother Yin Lei? Yin Lei was stunned. You don't know me? Li Dan nodded. I don't know you. I've never seen you before. Yin Lei suddenly felt like crying without tears. Careless, miscalculated. As long as we don't make a sound, we won't recognize him even if he finds us. As for Ling Feng, God knows where he is in the crowd, but he can't move. Yin Lei gritted his teeth, holding back tears, and suddenly shouted, Ling Feng, I was wrong. He didn't want to miss the opportunity here. Once he missed a step, he would miss it step by step. Yin Lei's sudden apology echoed in the hall, making many people look askance. Senior Brother Yin Lei, who was usually aloof, actually apologized in front of everyone. Incredible. Being able to take it up and put it down is the potential of a hero. No one laughed at him, but admired him. Ling Feng laughed loudly over there. Okay, I accept this apology. We are not unreasonable people, but we can't be scolded in vain. Xiao Wu, 6 words, 6 steps back. After hearing Ling Feng's words, Yin Lei breathed a sigh of relief and his eyes were filled with gratitude. Pretty boy, sissy, 6 words, 6 steps back. He admitted it. Li Dan grabbed Yin Lei, who showed no resistance, and took 6 steps back. Third Senior Brother, did anyone call you a scumbag? Li Dan shouted after he had finished venting his anger for the 4th Senior Brother. Everyone's heart was shocked. Chen Hai's face trembled over there. You were the only one who shouted. Li Dan looked embarrassed, and everyone else was so frightened that they were covered in cold sweat. Junior Brother Li, help me. At this moment, someone shouted. Li Dan's face suddenly filled with a happy smile. Come on, do you want a stretcher? Time passed by, and more people insisted on reaching the other side and walked over. All of them were breathing heavily. Now that the pressure was suddenly gone, they felt refreshed and their mental strength increased sharply. They glanced at Li Dan in the crowd, who was carrying the person back, with both joy and fear. They headed deeper without hesitation. Xiao Wu, let's go. Ling Feng and Chen Hai, who were on the other side, were sitting on the edge as if they were exhausted, beating their legs one by one, and then shouted loudly. Li Dan looked at 96/100 in the ideology and felt a little anxious. But if the task is not completed, he will get stuck at the next level. Besides, there are still nearly half of the people in the venue. Third Senior Brother, 4th Senior Brother, you go first. I will help a few more Senior Brothers, and then follow, 2nd Senior Brother, it's important. Li Dan shouted. After hearing Li Dan's words, many of the more than 400 people on the field felt touched in their hearts. The scolding continued, but unexpectedly, at this critical moment, everyone rushed to the next pass to grab resources. He obviously had the ability to get through, but he still stayed here to help them. Nahongda actually said that Li Dan was afraid of danger on the road ahead. So what about now? More than 400 people have passed by, and the two senior brothers responsible for protecting him are waiting for him. But he still didn't leave, but stayed here, ready for emergencies at any time. His own senior brothers and sisters didn't care about them, but he didn't expect that it would be him in the end. Suddenly, I was filled with gratitude. Li Dan looked at the people in the field and felt anxious. There are only 4 people left. If anything happens to any of you, even if you have diarrhea, I'm still busy. Opposite, after hearing Li Dan's words, Ling Feng and Chen Hai looked at each other. I didn't expect Xiao Wu to be so selfless and great. After the separation of life and death, he really grew up a lot. Think about the overall situation, not just immediate interests. This way, they can rest assured in the future. Okay, we'll leave first. Please pay attention to your safety. After finishing speaking, the two people hurriedly walked deeper along the dark road. Shamelessly, Dan, we are not done with this matter. I know you were waiting for me, but I didn't expect that the people in Taihua Peak would be such a narrow-minded group of people. They don't grab the opportunity, but only guard what is in front of them. People like you are destined to not go far in cultivation, because your narrow vision has already limited you. Songde, who was lagging behind everyone, left a trail of sweaty feet on the ground every time he took a difficult step. You know, if it were normal, he would have already passed and become the first person to pass the next level. Now more than 400 people have passed by, but he is walking for the second time. Li Dan, who was anxiously looking for his target, accidentally walked past Songde and heard him cursing. Li Dan, who was getting angry in a hurry, frowned, stood in front of Songde, and grinned. Brother Songde, I, Li Dan, have never been a good person, let alone a holy mother. I bullied me before and was beaten by my senior brother. I later met several groups of people from Tianji Peak who deliberately caused trouble, and you benefited from it, right? Who do you think is small-minded? I didn't think about it at the time. Even if I was wronged, I would not complain to anyone. I would just suffer it silently, because I feel tired even living, so why bother others? But it's different now. Why should I pretend to be wronged? I'm not a fool. It's not too late for a gentleman to take revenge. It's too late now, especially since I have innate conditions. After Li Dan finished speaking, he skillfully walked to the back, grabbed Song Dao's back collar, and dragged him back. Song Dao's eyes were full of disbelief. You can do anything without limit once. How could you shamelessly do it twice in front of so many brothers and sisters? Already powerless, he didn't even have the strength to shout. For some reason, he suddenly regretted it. Another piece of gossip. Pulling to a distance from the safe zone behind, Li Dan stopped again, and then smiled. Look, everyone is working hard to move forward, no one is looking behind. Just make your own decisions based on your own will in everything, and pay attention to the word shuang, no matter if it's right or wrong. There are only 2 words in life, Dijin. This is my Li Dan style. After leaving, Li Dan put on his harmless smile again and picked up the horn. Who else is there? Junior brother Li Dan, here. Oh, I've finally waited for you, I'm coming right now. Ding, congratulations to the host for achieving the goal of rescuing 100 people, the mission is completed. As a reward, you will be rewarded with a sky eye peeping to discover a hidden secret room. Snooping is scanning, and 7 undiscovered secret rooms have been found. Choose the best. 1,000 meters ahead, there is a jade spirit waterfall hidden in the secret room. It contains extremely strong energy and can be absorbed directly. However, once it is opened, it only lasts for half a stick of incense and then dissipates. In the process of analysis, the analysis failed and cannot be retained. As the sound of the system fell, Li Dan's eyes seemed to penetrate the layers of stone walls, and he saw a red target flashing in the distance. Awesome, This is all possible, but it seems that the owner of the tomb installed something in that secret room, and even the system cannot be preserved. Just as I was about to leave, a new self-discipline task came. Ding, large-scale bloodshed has been detected ahead, and the crisis situation has escalated. Ding, trigger new self-discipline, collect the core of the war puppet, put it in the initial position, and sleep the war puppet with the same number. The analysis progress is 1%, 2%, 3%. The analysis is completed, and the battle puppet recognition and immunity is blessed for the first time. Soon, Li Dan's goal was reset to 0/100. What war puppet? Is it the next test? However, this large-scale bloodshed made him worried about his third and fourth senior brothers, so he quickly packed up and prepared to run away. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to leave first. Let's meet up at the front. After Li Dan finished speaking, he quickly ran inside. Fortunately, most people are almost on the opposite side. They were grateful because Li Dan saved them from worries, so they could stabilize their mentality and keep moving forward. Although I am envious now, I will actually remember this kindness. Bon voyage. As Li Dan stepped onto the corridor alone and walked forward at full speed for about 10 minutes, the passage became wider. There were rumbles of fighting and loud noises from the front. Li Dan quickly slowed down until a huge bronze door appeared, with many unknown ghost symbols carved on it. The bronze door had been opened. Li Dan stretched his head in and saw another square-like hall, but at this moment, 5 stone doors were opened opposite the main hall. It seemed that the good things had been looted by everyone. However, in the huge stone door in the middle, there are countless humanoid shadows standing densely. In the square, the senior brothers from the 18 peaks were fighting to the death, and each of them was surrounded by 8 warriors of the same level. Looking at the war puppets that looked like highly sophisticated robots, Li Dan opened his mouth in shock. Is the owner of this tomb so powerful? He quickly searched for the 3rd and 4th senior brothers, but didn't even see their shadows. Have they passed the test? I knew that the 2 senior brothers were the most powerful. This is? Soon, Li Dan discovered that not far from the bronze door, there were 8 scattered limbs of the war puppet, each of which seemed to have been burned by the flames. And behind them, they all have the same number 1. Li Dan suddenly thought of his 2nd senior brother. His weapon was a blood-red heavy sword, and he was the only one who could face the first battle puppet. Is that the core? Li Dan looked at the few beads that had fallen next to the war puppet and lost their brilliance, and said to himself, "Where should I put it?" Li Dan looked around and soon saw that there was a stone wall on the far side opposite the square, exuding red, and something seemed to be flowing inside. It seems that this is the location of the reward given by the system for saving lives and injuries in the previous level. Junior Brotherly, be careful. This seems to be the war puppet recorded in the library. As soon as you step onto the square, 8 war puppets with the same level as you will come over immediately. There is no other way but to dismantle them. At this moment, a figure retreated while fighting. Seeing Li Dan coming in, he kindly reminded him. When Li Dan saw it, he didn't expect it to be senior brother Yan Lei of Xiangfeng, who had previously called 4th senior brother a sissy. He even took him 6 steps back. Unexpectedly, he would repay kindness with evil, which made Li Dan feel a little ashamed. Fortunately, he is a senior who has been able to cultivate to the spirit-gathering realm. His ambition is much greater than that of Tsangde, who was at the peak that day. Thank you, senior brother Yin. I understand. Could you please meet my 3rd senior brother and 4th senior brother? Before Li Dan finished shouting, Yan Lei was forced to retreat by the 8 war puppets. Yes, it is indeed a headache for 8 puppets in the same realm to attack you without knowing pain. There were clanging sounds of collisions, attacks, and roars everywhere, accompanied by the strong smell of blood. More than 400 people are fighting in this square, each with 8 sparring partners, which means there are more than 3,000 puppets. The owner of this tomb is causing trouble. Why has he prepared so much? Are you going to revolt or something? I looked around again, but still couldn't see the 2 senior brothers. Even if they shouted, they probably wouldn't be heard. Li Dan looked around and stepped down. Just for a moment, as if they had touched an invisible infrared ray, 8 puppets in the opposite center suddenly raised their heads and woke up from their dormancy. The eyes that were originally covered with dust suddenly lit up with white light and locked directly on Li Dan. Li Dan swallowed hard. How terrifying it would be to be chased by 8 war puppets from the great perfection realm of Huayuan. He didn't want to go back to the time when he was on Qianhu Island and was chased by sea monsters and sea beasts. A nightmarish existence. Ding, the war puppet immunity is being activated, and the blessing is complete. The system's voice sounded as promised, and Li Dan's eyes dimmed again when he looked at the 8 war puppets, and the eyes that were locked on him disappeared, and he finally let out a long sigh of relief. This is really one-to-one service. Call out. A warrior suddenly swooped past Li Dan, almost hitting him. Which senior brother's sparring partner can't be looked at? Li Dan crossed carefully and soon reached the opposite side. Everyone was fighting fiercely and running around being chased by war puppets. I want to divert trouble to the east, but this war puppet is stubborn and only recognizes you. With 8-on-1 tutoring, Master no longer has to worry about my rusty combat skills. Everyone was almost overwhelmed, and no one noticed that Li Dan in the field just raised his head as if nothing had happened and came to a wall. He held his chin with one hand and moved it to the side. The next moment, his eyes flickered, and he suddenly waved a burst of spiritual power from his hand, hitting the fast-moving restricted node in the wall. This guy is hidden deep enough. If there is no trick to see through it, it really can't be opened. Boom! The next moment, the wall burst, and a hidden stone door suddenly opened. Almost instantly, waves of spiritual power as powerful as the ocean burst out. Suddenly, it attracted everyone's attention. What is that? What a terrifying spiritual power. The spiritual power I just lost in dealing with the war puppet was instantly replenished. That's great. I didn't realize that there is a rare jade spirit waterfall hidden here. It's Li Dan. When did he come? Why didn't he attack him? Did he defeat all 8 of his puppets? Li Dan, thank you. I thought I was going to die in the hands of the war puppet today, but now my spiritual power is abundant again. Come on everyone, get rid of the war puppets quickly, let's absorb the Yuling waterfall. Li Dan looked at the small silver waterfall in front of him, could clearly feel the spiritual power contained in it, and swallowed his saliva. He remembered that once opened, the Yuling waterfall could only exist for half a stick of incense. It dissipates over time. Without saying a word, he got in without even having time to take off his clothes. In just a moment, an extremely pure energy poured into Li Dan's body crazily, washing his whole body. Li Dan's face was overjoyed, and he completely let go of his meridians, absorbing them desperately. Let his cultivation level also rise rapidly at this moment. Before half a stick of incense had elapsed, a vortex formed directly above Li Dan's head in the Yuling waterfall, like a funnel, and all the huge essence poured into his body from the Tianling cap. If someone is careful, they can notice it. In the middle of the vortex, a mini Li Dan is rapidly taking shape. This is the symbol of the spirit gathering realm. Gathering spirit into spirit, turning the soul power of a plate of loose sand into a physical state. After the spirit gathering realm, there is the infant transformation realm, which is the process of slowly growing the little spiritual person to the same size as the main body. At that time, the soul power is stronger, and even if the body is damaged, it can still be seized through the nascent soul and find another body. As usual, the energy required for the great perfection of the Huayuan realm to break through the soul-gathering realm must be massive and of high quality. Only in this way can the condensed soul be healthy and strong when it grows up in the future. It's the same as when a woman gives birth to a baby. It depends on how much she weighs at birth. He weighs about 10 pounds and looks very healthy at first glance. On weekdays, when everyone makes a breakthrough, who doesn't have their elders standing by to protect them? But now, with such pure and huge energy, Li Dan began to gather his soul. And it's very fast. Buzz. The next moment, the soul condensed in the blink of an eye, and a powerful momentum suddenly surged out from his body overwhelmingly. Li Dan's consciousness was divided into two. One part is in the body, and the other part is in the soul. The two consciousnesses look at the eyes simultaneously. Finally, we have entered the early stage of the spirit-gathering realm, catching up in the footsteps of third senior brother and fourth senior brother. At the same moment, the rumbling Yuling waterfall gradually disappeared. Even the ground was clean and empty of anything. The system really got it right. If I could continue to flow like this, it would be possible for me to reach the infant transformation realm in half a day and reach the divine palace realm in 1 day. Help, he's dead. These damn puppets are in no end. Can any of you help us when you're done? A breathless scream suddenly howled in the hall. Li Dan's face was filled with excitement when his soul suddenly entered his body. Third senior brother? Fourth senior brother? Without saying a word, he ran out quickly. When Li Dan came out, he saw the third senior brother and the fourth senior brother behind them, each chasing 5 war puppets. It looked like they had destroyed 3 of them. Third senior brother, fourth senior brother, Li Dan shouted. Ling Feng and Chen Hai also noticed Li Dan at this time and ran away while shouting, "Xiao Wu, be careful. These war puppets are so tough to defeat. Third senior brother and I thought they would be able to stop if we ran out of this territory, but we miscalculated. They would stop wherever they escaped. Can catch up. We used a lot of strength and took advantage of the terrain to kill a few of them, and I guess it won't be easy for you either." Ling Feng stopped shouting and jumped to the wall for a moment in a daze. "Why didn't the war puppet attack you?" "No way? Have you discovered any loopholes? Tell senior brother quickly, we really can't resist it anymore." "Where is the Yuling waterfall? Where is my Yuling waterfall?" "Why not? Damn puppet, you mistook me." Someone jumped into the stone palace, only to find that there was nothing there. Before he could cry out, the war puppets behind him rushed forward desperately. Li Dan quickly shouted, "Third senior brother, fourth senior brother, please wait a moment, I will study it." After finishing speaking, he quickly ran into the middle hall where many dormant war puppets were stored. Looking around, he quickly discovered that there were rows of dense holes at the front. These happened to be the places where the puppets who were fighting against everyone were standing in the square, and under everyone's feet, there was a circular hole. Li Dan understood immediately and ran out quickly. "Third senior brother, fourth senior brother, look at the numbers on the back of your war puppets." "Where is the number?" "Oh, I saw it, San Shilu. Mine is San Shijiu." Li Dan nodded and looked at the passage where the 2 people ran past. Without saying a word, he immediately caught up with the speed belonging to the early stage of the spirit-gathering realm. Seeing the Shiyao emanating from Li Dan, the 2 panting people were stunned for a while. "When did you break through to the spirit-gathering realm? What did we miss?" "You know, the 4th child, Ling Feng, is only in the middle stage of gathering spirits, and the 3rd brother, Chen Hai, is in the late stage of gathering spirits. The trapped 2nd child, Su Zhong, gathered his soul to achieve perfection. As for the eldest brother, he was in the early stage of the infant transformation when he left, so he doesn't know about it now. But now, the 5 brothers are really just a little higher than the other." Although they were forced to retreat continuously by the war puppets, a sense of crisis quietly surged into the hearts of the 2 of them. It's not anything else, but the younger brother's promotion speed is too fast and he is about to catch up with them. Especially the 4th child, Ling Feng, has a greater sense of crisis. "If it were really the same level, I would be so embarrassed. How could I have the shame to laugh and laugh every day? Go out and experience it. Will you grow so fast?" The 2 of them seemed to have not been out for a long time. "Be careful," Chen Hai reminded. Ling Feng quickly and narrowly avoided the attack of the war puppet. At this moment, Li Dan ran into the previous passage. There were dozens of other senior brothers here, fighting with the war puppets, causing the surrounding stone pillars to collapse. Soon Li Dan saw several corpses of war puppets scattered on the ground, and some tarnished stone beads scattered beside them. Looking at the numbers again, they were Sancho Lu and Sancho Jio. He picked it up in a hurry and ran out. Call out. The figure of a senior brother fell from Li Dan's head, cursing in his mouth, then ran out. Whoosh! A few piercing sounds came directly from behind. Li Dan subconsciously held his head and squatted down. Brother, one of our own. The 8 war puppets leapt directly over Li Dan's head, bringing up a fierce wind and chasing the man. Only then did Li Dan realize what a shameful thing he had done. Fortunately, no one else saw it, so he quickly got up and ran forward. Xiao Wu, now I'm wondering if the owner of the tomb here has left a back door for you. An accident happened once, but something is wrong twice. Seeing Li Dan coming back with a groan, Ling Feng, who was fighting and retreating, shouted in envy. Of course, not only his 2 senior brothers noticed it, but also the 400 people on the field could clearly see it. There must be a secret, otherwise it wouldn't make sense. Li Dan didn't say anything, but turned around and entered the war puppet warehouse and put 2 stone beads in. A ray of light flashed, and the stone beads rolled. How did you find out? A confused voice suddenly sounded, startling Li Dan, who was worried and focused. Who's talking? But at first glance, they were all batches of dormant war puppets, without any movement. Maybe I was too nervous and had auditory hallucinations. Li Dan ran out quickly. At the same time, Chen Hai and Ling Feng, who were finding their bearings and thinking about how to deal with it, suddenly discovered that the war puppet that was about to attack them became motionless for an instant, and finally fell straight from the air, like a machine, towards their warehouse. Returned. No, what happened? Why don't you hit me all of a sudden? I'm ready to make a big move. After chasing you for so long, you suddenly stopped chasing me. It makes me feel flustered. I'm still a little unaccustomed to it. When the 2 landed, they saw Li Dan waving to them happily. Xiao Wu, how did you do it? The 2 people ran over, full of disbelief. Li Dan felt happy when he saw the number turned into 2/100. I touched it blindly. If I have to say it, I just need to pay more attention, because if there is a lock, there must be a key. 3rd senior brother, 4th senior brother, there are 6 hidden stone chambers here. You should hold on tight. Li Dan remembered that the system said before that there were 7 secret rooms that had not yet been discovered, the best of which was Yuling Waterfall, and he was rewarded. In other words, there are 6 more places. Chen Hai and Ling Feng first looked at the surrounding copper and iron walls to see where the secret room came from. Look at Li Dan again. I really doubt you have been here before, otherwise it would be too mysterious. Junior brotherly, help me. I will leave some of the share I got for you as a thank you afterwards. A person from Qianchao Peak saw the 3 brothers below talking and laughing and shouted quickly, Brother, go find it quickly, just leave it to me. Chen Hai and Ling Feng hurriedly searched around, while Li Dan took out an exquisite mallet from his storage bag, and then looked at the person calling. I don't even know you, so why should I help you? Besides, you said you would leave a thank you note, but what if you lift your pants and don't recognize anyone else? No, this metaphor is not appropriate. Li Dan picked up his garlic-pounding mallet, then raised his hand and said, Brothers and sisters, I have cracked the secret of the war puppet. I need the core stone beads in the war puppet's body and the mysterious mallet in my hand to use them together. Only then can I stop them. If you need anything, call me. Li Dan had to lie. His mission was to save 100 people. In other words, the mission needs to be completed by stopping the war puppet through his own hands. Let me tell you early, if you work hard to dismantle a war puppet, then jump around to find a gap, get in, and put it into your numbered position, everything will be solved. What do you want me to do? What should I do if I get to the task? Everyone was excited when they heard there was a solution. Junior brotherly, I am Peng from Baijian Peak. I am about to kill a war puppet. Keep it for me. Someone shouted. Another person followed closely, Junior brotherly, these are 3,000 spiritual crystals. Please help me with this. Another senior brother who was in the late stage of the spirit gathering realm shouted and threw a storage bag over. Li Dan subconsciously caught it. "Let me go, are you so arrogant?" A smile suddenly appeared on his face. "Senior brother, please tell me your war puppet number and core." The middle-aged man quickly circled around, saw the number, then turned around and jumped. With all his strength, he found a gap among the 8 combat puppets of the same level, and used his last strength to give one of them a killing blow. Then, stone beads burst out. Bajiusi. Li Dan grabbed the stone bead and put it in the storage bag skillfully. "It's done, senior brother. Wait a moment, I'll be back soon." Boom! On the other side, as Chen Hai and Ling Feng smashed the wall, a stone door was revealed inside. The two cheered and ran in. For a moment, others looked at it with envy. But these puppets are so sticky that they will arrive without you noticing, and it's a really life-threatening rhythm. Even if you go in to grab it now, you still have to ask the war puppets around you to give you a chance. 1 or 2 is okay. After all, there is no brain, but 8 are seamlessly connected. Even if you have 8 hands, you can't resist it. Kaka. At this moment, 7 war puppets suddenly fell from the sky and walked towards the warehouse numbly. The senior brother who gave Li Dan the spirit crystal before suddenly had a smile on his face. "It's really okay." He looked at the stone door that Ling Feng and Chen Hai had opened, and then at Li Dan who came out of it. "Thank you, senior brother, I will remember this kindness." After saying that, he hurriedly ran deeper. "Is there anyone else? I found out that this mysterious mallet can still be used." Li Dan raised the garlic-pounding mallet and shouted, "Me, Junior Brotherly, I smashed one of the war puppets before and happened to pick up the core inside to study. Here it is for you." One of them shouted, throwing the stone beads and a storage bag over. Li Dan opened it and saw that there were about 2,780 spiritual crystals, and he suddenly smiled. Okay, senior brother, tell me your number." Just like that, with Li Dan's deception and the use of the stick over and over again, Li Dan's number of tasks continues to rise, and he has more and more storage bags on his body. With the goal of the 100th person reached, Li Dan's mission was also successfully completed. However, there are no rewards this time, and there are no new self-discipline tasks. This made Li Dan feel a little guilty because he didn't know how to pass the next level. However, although there was no reward, the 300,000 spirit crystals on my body were actually obtained from the spirit gathering realm brothers who were eager to reach the next level. 300,000. When Ouyang Ling's master left, he only gave 50,000 to the headmaster Chao Jingyang. When I came down from the Huayuan realm for the first time, I gave each of them 200 pieces of starting capital, and I had to earn the rest by myself. If we say that even if Li Dan quits now, with these 300,000 yuan, he would probably earn more than most people. This group of senior fellow apprentices in the spirit gathering realm, who usually don't show off their wealth, were unexpectedly rich. "Xiao, we can't find the secret room anymore, let's go," Ling Feng and the others rushed over. You know, exploring resources has never been the goal of these 3 people. Rescuing the second senior brother is the real thing. What's more, in the secret room just now, the 2 of them had already obtained a lot of good things. Li Dan looked at the 300 or so brothers and sisters on the field who were waiting for his help, and there were people coming from the gravity area behind them. If this lie can continue to be told, millions of spiritual crystals are not impossible. But on the other hand, the second senior brother was so hungry. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Always keep a thin line. Li Dan looked at the senior brothers who were constantly fighting, and then shouted loudly, "Brothers and sisters, we still have something to do. This one is a bully, and that one is not. I will give this mallet to any one of you, as long as you take the core of the war puppet and take the time to find the corresponding number inside, release the stone bead, then tap it with a mallet and shout Saipan. Remember to pat and shout, otherwise only one of those war puppets can sleep, and the others will still chase it. After it comes out, give it to the next person, and leave it to the others through relay. Junior Brotherly is righteous." Thank you so much, Brother Dandan. We got it. Everyone was happy for a while. Li Dan threw up the mallet in his hand and was caught by one of the senior brothers. The three of them hurriedly walked deeper. Saipan. As soon as I ran to the end, I heard a shout, and then there was ecstasy. It's really useful, haha. I won't chase you anymore, junior sister Sue. Then, as the three of them continued to go deeper, more and more secret rooms were opened, and senior brothers kept coming out of them, all with smiles on their faces. When seeing Li Dan and the others, he was subconsciously on guard. But when he saw it was Li Dan, a smile suddenly appeared on his face. This place is really poor, there is nothing. After saying that, he ran away quickly. Their kindness has been completed in the transaction just now, which is understandable. Anyway, the three of them don't expect anything. Ling Feng held the moonlight bead and shined it on it. He discovered that there were many forks in the road ahead, all of which had footprints. For a moment, the three of them didn't know which way to take. Look, this is the word left by the second senior brother. At this moment, Chen Hai shouted. Li Dan and Ling Feng looked quickly and saw words carved with a long sword on the stone wall of a fork in the road on the far right. I'm here to visit Taihua Peak Suzhong. Uncle Master, is this a training base you secretly established? It's pretty decent, but it's too simple and not challenging. I thought I'd encountered it. Wow, let's go back to bed after playing for a while. Your skills still need to be improved. The three of them looked at each other, not knowing what to say for a moment. It seems that the first two levels are very simple for the second senior brother. Li Dan remembered that the second senior brother said that he drank a lot of wine that night. After sending his master back, he vaguely saw the light behind the mountain and rushed over. He probably broken even though he was still drunk at this time. The drunkard is so brave. He thought he was playing the closed beta test of the game, but he didn't expect to be trapped inside. Let's go. I guess the second senior brother will take this route, Ling Feng said. Li Dan agreed. As soon as he raised his feet, a vague and sinister voice echoed in his ears again. How did you know? Li Dan was smart and quickly looked around. What's wrong? Seeing Li Dan's reaction, Chen Hai and Ling Feng immediately became alert. Li Dan swallowed. Did you hear what someone said just now? The two of them were confused for a while. No, are you too nervous? Li Dan frowned. Could it be that the owner of the tomb is still alive? Impossible. How long has this been happening? Maybe I'm too sensitive. Let's go. After Li Dan said that, he also took out a moonlight bead and walked inside.